today we're looking at some really easy ways to say what you like and don't like in French. You'll learn little phrases like j'aime ça, j'aime les deux, and ça m'est égal. These are the kinds of expressions that make everyday conversations so much easier, and by the end, you'll be able to use them straight away. So the way to say I like is j'aime, j'aime. J'aime can also mean I love if you're talking about a person. So if you want to say I love you, you would say je t'aime. But j'aime and then a noun means I like that noun, that object, that thing. We can also say j'aime ça, I like that. So we could say j'aime le fromage, so I like cheese. Or you could say, ooh, le fromage, j'aime ça, I like that. Or somebody could say to you, tu aimes le bricolage? Ah oui, j'aime ça, I like that. Vin rouge? Oui, j'aime ça, I like that. Le football? Oui, j'aime ça, like that. Le golf? J'aime ça, j'aime ça. So j'aime ça, I like that, j'aime ça. We might be out shopping and want to talk to the person at the market and talk about specifically, I like that one. So that's when you use this, j'aime celui-là, j'aime celui-là. In fast speech, it almost sounds like j'aime celui-là, j'aime celui-là. I like this one or that one there, this one here. It's j'aime celui-là, j'aime celui-là, that one there or this one here, j'aime celui-là. Sometimes you hear j'aime celle-là if you're talking about a feminine item. So let's say, for example, we're looking at this bracelet and we wanted to say to the person who's working at the market, I like this one here. We might pick it up and we go, j'aime celui-là, j'aime celui-là. Or maybe one of these baskets and pointing over to the one in the back corner. Oui, j'aime celui-là. And then they'll get it out for you. So j'aime celui-là or j'aime celui-là if you hear it fast. And like I say, you might hear j'aime celle-là too if it's a feminine thing that you're talking about. What about if you like both? In English, we would have a word for both, but in French, there is no word for both. Instead, they say the two. So, j'aime les deux, j'aime les deux. So, if somebody's asking you, do you like this or that? You could say, j'aime les deux, I like both. So, tu aimes le vin ou la bière? Oh, j'aime les deux. Tu aimes la pizza ou les hamburgers? Ah, j'aime les deux. Tu aimes le chocolat ou les bonbons? Oh, j'aime les deux. Tu aimes le cricket ou le rugby? J'aime les deux. And if there were three things, I like all three, you would say j'aime les trois, j'aime les quatre, j'aime les cinq. But j'aime les deux, I like both. J'aime les deux. What about if we like all of it? We say j'aime tout. J'aime tout. So we're there looking at all these lovely bowls in this market stall and can't make up our mind. So instead of saying j'aime celui-là or j'aime celui-là, we could just say, oh, j'aime tout. Or maybe we're in the patisserie. We've got so many wonderful choices. Oh, c'est trop compliqué, j'aime tout. Or maybe we've got our dessert menu and they all look wonderful. Ah, j'aime tout. J'aime tout. I love it all, like it all. J'aime tout. If you don't like something, we can say je n'aime pas. And we can put the little trop at the end. Je n'aime pas trop. Je n'aime pas trop. Trop means too much. So it's a bit like saying in English, I don't really like it. I don't like it that much. J'aime pas trop. Just softens it a little bit rather than je n'aime pas. We can say je n'aime pas trop. Now that little ne, remember, we can drop that in speech. The French drop that in speech. It makes it an easier way to say things rather than having to think about the extra little ne in there. If you're writing, you should always put the ne in, but when you're speaking, it's okay to not put that ne in. So in speech, this sounds more like j'aime pas trop. J'aime pas trop. So let's take, for example, the andouillette sausage, something that is quite a famous sausage around in the area of France where I'm speaking to you from, and not something that's my personal cup of tea. So I might say, j'aime pas trop. J'aime pas trop. I don't like that too much. Or le tequila. J'aime pas trop. J'aime pas trop. Maybe le marmite. J'aime pas trop. J'aime pas trop. Or maybe la politique anglaise. J'aime pas. J'aime pas trop. J'aime pas trop. And then, how about if I want to say, yeah, I don't really mind it. I'm not that bothered. It doesn't really do very much for me. There's a brilliant word in French which is bof, bof, bof. And something that we get taught maybe at school, or we think the right thing to say if we want to say so in French is to say comme ci, comme ça. Comme ci, comme ça is heard very, very rarely in French. You're much more likely to hear bof to express the same idea. So if you want to say, not overly fast, you would say bof, bof. So we've got a nice American sandwich complet. It's not a French baguette, is it? So if I was going to be looking at that, I'd maybe say bof. Nutella, bof. Les fléchettes, darts, bof, bof. Don't hate them, don't love them, don't have a huge amount of opinion on them. Okay, that's the bof. And you can do a little Gaelic shrug with it as well, like this chap's shown us here. What about if we do want to just say, I don't care, I'm not bothered, doesn't bother me, whichever. We can say this word, ça m'est égal, ça m'est égal. I've written it there how it sounds because it looks quite different how it sounds to how it's written. Ça m'est égal, ça m'est égal. Égal means equal. So ça m'est égal means it's equal to me. Ça m'est égal, ça m'est égal. So for example, I might say, thé ou café? Tea or coffee? Tea or café? Ça m'est égal. Yeah, whichever. Not bothered. Or we've got our scone with the cream on top, or the scone with the jam on top. Although this one is not one that usually people would say ça m'est égal. People have usually got a preference, but perhaps you might not care and just be, yeah, whichever. Ça m'est égal, ça m'est égal. It doesn't bother me, it's equal to me. Coca ou Coca Zero? Ça m'est égal. Ketchup ou mayonnaise? Ça m'est égal. So ça m'est égal is very much, I don't mind either way. I'm happy either way. It's equal to me. Bof was much more, not that fussed about it. Okay, don't really have a particular opinion. Don't think it's that great. But ça m'est égal is, I don't mind either way. Okay, ça m'est égal. A quick recap then. Let's have a look. So to say what you like, you need to say j'aime. J'aime ça means I like it or I like that. J'aime celui-là. Sounds like j'aime celui-là is how to say I like that one or this one. I like them both. You say j'aime les deux. It's too hard to choose, you like them all. What do we say for that? J'aime tout. To say you don't like something, you add that negative pas after j'aime. And remember that you can drop that negative ne when you're speaking if you want to. Okay? It might be that you've got that ne drilled into you. You don't have to drop it. It's just something that you hear often in speech that the ne does get dropped. If you want to soften the j'aime pas or je n'aime pas, you can say the word trop after, and that makes it, I don't like it that much, I don't like it too much. Bof is a great informal expression to show indifference. It's kind of a bit, whatever. And if you're not bothered either way, happy with both, you would say ça m'est égal, ça m'est égal. If you find the way that I have explained this today useful and clear, you can go onto my website and you'll find there that you are able to download a complimentary free cheat sheet, and you can also join a class if you live close by to Saint-Junien, or join an online course. There's lots of things for you to have a little look at on my website if you're interested, and I will put that link in the description below this video. Ok, à la semaine prochaine. Au revoir.